On August 24, 2024, First Amendment auditors Acura Amanda and Palm Beach Free Press, who are also a couple, were shopping at a Home Depot location in Palm Beach Lakes, West Palm Beach, Florida. During their purchase, one of the items scanned at the register for just 1 cent. A store employee contacted police, apparently believing the unusually low price needed to be addressed. Officer Anthony Gondo of the West Palm Beach Police Department was dispatched to investigate.
It's not a penny. No, it's not a penny.
Well, I already bought it.
It's not a penny.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
What's going on?
So we bought something and she's saying that it didn't ring up right, but we paid for it.
Let's figure this out, okay?
Okay.
May I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you.
Can I have my card, please?
Absolutely, ma'am. So, ma'am, you want to come explain this?
Okay, so they just registered to the register themselves, and then it's a penny. So I told them that we have to change the price on it, and they wanted to walk out.
We didn't steal anything.
We paid for it.
And
Our name is Chanel. We have badge number
isn't-
1986. What's your name, sir?
Go and do.
are we being detained right now? Because we didn't steal anything. We paid for it.
Can we talk to the manager really quick?
I have a receipt. I'm not gonna sit here and wait when I
If
paid
we're
for
being
something,
detained, that's a different story, but we're free to leave at this point.
Oh, I mean, you guys aren't. It's just.
Thank you. Have a
We
nice day.
paid for an item.
You
We
know,
got a
but
receipt for it, man.
Yeah.
Well, actually, hang on, guys. If
Are
there's
we free
allegation,
or are we being detained?
if
Because
there's,
we didn't steal anything. If they ring,
Are we free to leave or are we being
if
detained?
they're making I'm trying to explain to you, Mac.
Free to leave or being detained?
You guys are being detained.
Okay.
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 Why are we being detained, sir?
So basically, there's an allegation of theft being made.
No, there is not. She said we paid for something for a penny. She just told you there was nothing being stolen.
Look, we paid for it.
There's allegate.
I mean, it's not our fault if they don't have it the right price.
Guys,
they have
and
it
I
on
get
the,
that. I'm with you
yeah,
guys on
they
this,
have it on
okay?
the sales floor.
So there's
But-
an allegation of theft, even though we have a
But-
receipt
So
in
I'm
our
just
hand.
investigating it.
Sure.
And that's why you guys are not being handcuffed or anything. I'm sure there's an explanation to all of this.
Mhm.
Let's talk it out, and then
Okay.
you guys will be good to go.
I mean,
Is
we
that
have.
fair?
I mean, if we're being detained right now,
We have a problem.
yeah, we have a problem. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, there's just an allegation of
She didn't
even
say
if
we
it's
stole
not,
it.
She
She,
never
But if
yeah.
it's not ringing up correctly, and they're saying you didn't pay the right amount for it,
Mhm.
then I just have to investigate it.
Right,
okay?
that's a civil matter.
So
Yeah,
just give us a few minutes, okay?
that's fine.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
really.
I mean-
I'm working the overtime detail here.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to make sure.
Of course, but
You
we
know what I
didn't
mean?
steal anything. It's on the receipt.
I don't doubt that,
Yeah.
and we'll figure this out, okay?
According to the employee, the product had been incorrectly priced at 1 cent, and the customers were attempting to leave without correcting the amount. Officer Gendo therefore detained Acura Amanda and Palm Beach Free Press while he looked into the store's allegation of theft. Florida Statute 812.014 generally requires a person to knowingly take or use someone else's property with the intention of depriving the owner of its property rights or benefits. Another provision, Section 812.015, addresses retail theft and includes conduct such as taking merchandise, changing or removing pricing information, moving merchandise between containers, or taking a shopping cart when the purpose is to deprive the merchant of possession, use, benefit, or the merchandise's full retail value. Those provisions could potentially become relevant when someone deliberately changes a price or knowingly takes advantage of an obvious pricing error. However, Amanda and Palm Beach Free Press maintained that they did not realize the item had scanned incorrectly. That distinction matters because theft generally requires criminal intent. If a customer genuinely receives an unexpected discount because of an innocent checkout mistake, without evidence that the customer knew about the error or intended to avoid paying the proper amount, the situation would not ordinarily establish criminal theft by itself. The circumstances become more complicated once the merchant discovers the mistake and asks the customer either to pay the correct amount or return the merchandise. Florida contract law recognizes situations in which a valid transaction can potentially be canceled because one party made a significant mistake concerning the terms of the agreement. 2018 decision from Florida's 3rd District Court of Appeal, DP Prince versus Starboard Cruise Services, addressed this concept. The court recognized that a contract may, under appropriate circumstances, be undone because of a unilateral mistake involving an important fact, provided certain requirements are satisfied. In that case, a diamond had been sold for dramatically less than its actual value because of a pricing mistake. The court determined that the seller could potentially rescind the transaction based on that unilateral error, even though the buyer had not personally caused the mistake. Applying that principle here, it is possible that a court could determine Home Depot made a unilateral pricing mistake and therefore had grounds to cancel the transaction, in theory. If the customers became aware that they had been substantially undercharged and then intentionally refused either to return the merchandise or pay the proper amount, a prosecutor could argue that they intended to deprive the store of the item's full value. However, this situation would much more likely raise a civil contract dispute than a straightforward criminal theft case. The question of whether Home Depot could cancel the sale because of its own pricing mistake falls largely within contract law. Additionally, Amanda and Palm Beach Free Press had completed the purchase and obtained the merchandise through the normal checkout process. Because of that, establishing the specific criminal intent required for theft would likely be difficult.
Is your body cam rolling? Do you have a supervisor available?
Yeah, my body camera's on right now.
Okay. Do you mind asking for a supervisor, please?
Sure.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Not a problem. 1986 as well. Hey, can you open up a 68 for me at the Home Depot? And I'm out with two requesting supervisor.
Hey guys, so we're on the, we're at the Home Depot on Palm Beach Lakes right now. We just paid for this pendant light over here. This is our receipt. The lady is saying that this did not scan properly. However, when I price checked this item, the other gentleman in the store told me how much it was. We came here, we scanned it. This is the price of the item, and we're being detained right now, guys.
Do you mind me asking your first and last name?
Sure, it's Anthony Goindu.
Anthony.
Anthony?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your guys' names?
Do you mind spelling your last name for me?
Yeah, Goindoo.
I'm Amanda.
Amanda?
Acura Amanda.
Oh, hey, how are you?
Hey, good. Nice to meet you.
I'm so sorry that this is happening, you
Don't
know.
worry.
So,
You'd see the issue though. I mean, we haven't stole anything, and if you're detaining us with the shopkeeper's policy, that's kind of different. So.
Amanda also argued that constitutional law prevents police from holding citizens for more than 45 minutes. That particular claim is not an accurate statement of the Supreme Court's Terry stop standard. The Supreme Court has never established a universal 45-minute maximum for investigative detentions. In United States v. Place, decided in 1983, the court determined that a 90-minute detention was unreasonable under the circumstances presented in that case. At the same time, however, the court specifically declined to establish a fixed maximum duration for every Terry stop. The court addressed the same general principle in United States v. Sharp in 1985. It explained that an investigative detention cannot continue forever, but it also rejected the idea of imposing one rigid time limit on every stop. Instead, courts look at the circumstances of each individual encounter. As the Supreme Court explained in Florida v. Royer, the permissible scope of an investigative detention depends on the particular facts involved. There is nevertheless an important limitation. A Terry detention must remain temporary and should last only as long as reasonably necessary to accomplish the purpose of the investigation. The range of circumstances can produce very different results. In United States v. Montoya de Hernandez, for example, the Supreme Court upheld an investigative detention lasting more than 12 hours. That case involved highly unusual circumstances, including a suspected drug smuggling operation in which the suspect was believed to have swallowed balloons containing illegal substances. A subsequent search resulted in the recovery of 88 such balloons. Therefore, while a 45-minute detention might be considered excessive in some circumstances, there is no universal constitutional stopwatch that automatically makes a Terry stop unlawful after that amount of time. Courts instead examine the reason for the detention, what officers were doing during it, and the surrounding circumstances.
It's allegations being made by the, can I call you Sarge? Copy. I'm gonna call my sergeant. He's wanting to know what's going on. Okay. Do you mind if I go grab my my phone?
Whatever you like.
Okay, I'll be right back.
We're not gonna go nowhere.
I appreciate you guys. I'm wondering where their staff is. This is kind of ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Detained over something I just paid for, man. Every single item in the cart's paid for, and here we are.
The courts have ruled and established that we cannot be detained more than a certain amount of time. I believe it's 45 minutes.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
During the encounter, Officer Gendo remained relatively calm as he attempted to understand what had happened. Amanda and Palm Beach Free Press explained that they had receipts showing that their purchases had been paid for. They emphasized that the issue appeared to be between them and Home Depot rather than something they believed should result in their detention. The officer acknowledged their concerns and explained that he was simply trying to determine why the store had contacted police. The auditors pointed out that they were being kept from leaving even though the store employees were not immediately coming outside to address the situation. They also explained that they had purchased an appliance and wanted to return home with it. Officer Gendo then asked them to explain what the store was claiming had happened. They told him that one of the items had scanned for a penny and maintained that this was the amount displayed at checkout. They argued that if the store believed the price was incorrect, the merchandise should have been removed from the shelf before being sold. The officer asked whether he could inspect the item so that he could verify what they were describing. They agreed and directed his attention to the product and its identifying information. They also suggested that he photograph the item's information and ask the store about the listed price. The auditors continued emphasizing that every item in their cart had been purchased and paid for, while Officer Gendo worked to establish exactly what had occurred inside the store.
No, I understand, and I'm not here to do anything unlawful.
No, you're cool, man. I don't have an issue with you.
Thank you.
You're a very nice gentleman, but
No, I definitely.
we have our receipt. We paid for everything.
I definitely understand. This is a Home Depot issue. You know what I mean?
It seems like they don't care because they're not coming out here either.
Well, if they don't come out here, I'm gonna be like, at this point, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, this is our receipt, so. Hold on, I'm trying to go live right now.
Detained, and then I'm trying to set my dishwasher up. I can't go home and plug my dishwasher.
So
you can go
what-
look at my objects in my car.
I'm just trying to
setting
figure
my
out. So they're
dishwasher.
saying that you guys got rung up for the wrong item, or
No.
Something was cheaper than
See,
what they
like-
wanted it to be.
Look at what our light
Let me-
ring up as. A penny.
how
They're
much is it
supposed.
to?
They
We
are.
bought it.
That's
We
how
paid
much
for
it's
it.
supposed
It's
to
on the
be. They're
receipt.
supposed to
And
pull
we're
it
being
off of
detained
the
over
shelf,
this.
and they don't do that. The store is a mess in there. When you purchase the item, it's yours. It's in your possession.
Yeah.
So.
Do you mind if I look at the item just to confirm the SKUs, and then if this is you're absolutely right, then
If you go,
why we're so
if
upset
you
over
take
this.
a picture of this with your phone,
Mhm.
and you can ask them in there, hey, how much
It'll
does
actually
this?
show you
It'll
here.
show you how
So
much
if
it
you look at the
is.
SKU number, ending in 86 here, ending in 86 here. Every single item in the cart is bought and paid for.
Yeah,
Here
we
are
paid for
being
everything.
detained over a receipt that we paid for something.
That's crazy.
You're telling me? That's why I'd like to go home and plug my dishwasher in, but instead
Yeah.
we're dealing with the police at Home Depot in West Palm Beach, Florida.
No, absolutely. You know what? You guys are definitely good to go. If it rang up as a penny, I mean, they'll have to.
Why I'm
That's
so
on them.
limited and why we're on camera right now, unfortunately. You've been totally cool and civil, I appreciate that. But
No,
being
no,
detained
it's
over
not a
buying
problem.
items, I'm not cool with, man.
Yeah, no, I understand.
So are we free to go?
Yeah, you guys are good.
Goodbye.
I apologize. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Take care, guys.
Have a good day.
Alrighty. You changed it to 66. Cancel supervisor.
After Officer Gendo ultimately allowed Acura Amanda and Palm Beach Free Press to leave, both auditors later published footage of the encounter on their respective YouTube channels. It is not clear whether either of them submitted a formal complaint or planned further legal action. Looking at the encounter as a whole, Officer Gendo handled a complicated situation with a generally calm and restrained approach. The store's report gave him a reason to investigate, particularly because employees claimed the customers had been unwilling to correct an apparent undercharged. Florida's retail theft laws can potentially involve deliberate manipulation of prices or knowingly taking advantage of certain pricing situations. That provided at least some factual basis for investigating the complaint. However, this was clearly not a simple shoplifting case. The distinction between a pricing mistake, a contract dispute, and criminal intent involves legal questions that may not be straightforward for an officer responding to a retail call. Officer Gendo could arguably have explained the legal issues more clearly or determined earlier that the disagreement was primarily civil. Nevertheless, he investigated the complaint without unnecessarily escalating the encounter and eventually released the auditors when the store did not continue pursuing the matter. For those reasons, Officer Gendo's overall conduct can reasonably be viewed as professional and measured. He remained composed, avoided unnecessary threats or pressure, and resolved the encounter without an arrest. Amanda and Palm Beach Free Press also remained relatively composed throughout the interaction. Although their assertion concerning a 45-minute constitutional limit was incorrect, they were understandably focused on how long they could legally be detained and why the police were investigating them. They questioned the basis for the stop, raised constitutional concerns, and continued recording the interaction. Importantly, they did so without turning the encounter into an overt confrontation. They consistently asked for an explanation of the detention and maintained that they had legitimately paid for their merchandise. Their approach demonstrated an effort to assert their rights while still allowing the officer to investigate the complaint. Their understanding of the precise legal rules could have been more accurate, particularly concerning the supposed 45-minute limit. Even so, their broader concern about an investigative detention continuing without adequate justification was legitimate. Ultimately, the encounter illustrates how a relatively minor retail pricing dispute can quickly develop into a complicated question involving criminal intent, contract law, and constitutional detention standards. Both sides remained comparatively restrained, and the situation ended without an arrest. If there is a particular police encounter or legal issue you'd like us to examine in a future video, let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out the second channel for more police interaction content.